Hello, 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 hello. How are y'all? I haven't done the cool work yet, but I've heard it's rough. Yep, 3 in the series I gotta do. I've seen 2 of 13 and want to go home. Just gotta power through it, Dav. Just gotta power through it. I don't feel great today. I don't know why, man. I'm probably just running myself ragged. It's most of the issue, no doubt. Yeah. I'm sorry all the streams for the remainder of the week were just whatever this is. I'm just going live and fucking talking. Work has been tough. Just a lot of things piled up that I've got to get done, and I really care about doing a good job, basically. So I'm trying to do the best job I can. It is the common theme. Meanwhile, in the back of my mind, I keep thinking about apps. Home lab apps. And now phone apps, because I've got my cool new phone here. But it's crazy how susceptible I am to choice paralysis. You would think I would have some sort of game plan for what the hell I was going to do with the new phone. But I'm being like really slow and cautious. So I've basically set up 2 profiles and installed 1 app on each one. Which feels insane. name that app? Minecraft. It's because I'm like very slowly and carefully researching things as I go. I'm not willy-nilly installing things, although I do feel like the more research I do into Graphene OS, the more comfortable I feel that really just being on the operating system is the most effective thing all by itself. And they sandbox the Google apps, so you don't even really have to be all that worried about them. But I haven't installed any of the Google apps, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to do that or not. It does sort of seem like, depending on the stuff that you want to do, at some point you are going to have to fuck with that. Like, one thing I used a lot on the iPhone was CarPlay. I really liked CarPlay. And I think the only equivalent to that on Android is Android Auto. And it looks like that requires you to have the whole, like, Google pipeline. But of course, I could make a profile just for Android Auto. And I could also make a dummy user for Google to do all of that. So I could put it in its own, I can put it in its little playpen. And then grant that profile access to the apps that I want to interoperate with Android Auto, I guess. But I've never used Android Auto, not even a one time. So indeed, completely sandboxed Android Auto. It makes you sound cool. Yeah, the particular arrangement that I'm doing, if is a I do all the app installing on the owner, and then I use the apps inside the profiles, is what I'm currently doing. Well, I can tell you guys that it is extremely painless. But if it is your only phone, then I guess you're going to have the trouble of you know, migrating. I have the advantage of being able to keep my current phone intact while I'm configuring this one up. So, but it is very quick and painless to install Graphene OS. Price of a pixel, yeah. Well, you could go back. You may not want to go back farther than like 8. There's some change hardware-wise that happened with memory that is an important security feature, but I kind of forget what it was. Pixel memory security. Memory tagging extension, MTE. And that is hardware implementation of tagged memory at a high level. MTE tags each memory allocation, deallocation with additional metadata. It assigns a tag to a memory location, which can then be associated with pointers that reference that memory location. At runtime, the CPU checks that the pointer and the metadata tags match on each load and store. So I think the 8 is the oldest one that has that. $8A, $200 used, not bad. Not too bad. We did splurge in our situation because these were not cheap. But these are going to be our new, daily drivers. So I'm already in the camp of it was worth the price. I'm kind of in love with, how much it's aligned with my level of privacy desire and security desire now. It feels good. It feels like it's right in the sweet spot of what I was hoping for, which is great. Yeah, I intend to, I would say, probably stay with this phone now until, wait and see what the dedicated Graphene OS hardware ends up looking like. Hopefully that happens, and hopefully it's good, but, hard to say. Yeah, we're just yapping about graphene. There's a lot of stuff that I love about this whole setup. It just sort of, I think it agrees with my sort of when I want to be meticulous. This is that for sure. Going in and setting up the special profiles, sandboxing everything, organizing it all. There's a little bit of annoyance in terms of that, like when you're doing profiles, every profile is like a new phone. You do have to reconfigure everything that you want. It's kind of a weird hack in a way because it's really intended for different people, but you're using it for yourself over and over again. So you do have to configure all your shit over again, all preference-wise that you want. That's how you get your mind blown, Fox. You got to be careful. And I kind of love the app stores. There's nothing special to the Graphene OS one because it's literally just they provide some like good baseline apps, and then the other options are one other store, and then the sandboxed Google apps. But a Crescent is pretty cool, and Obtainium is really cool. I really like Obtainium. Coupled with App Verifier, it's pretty fucking cool. I haven't installed F-Droid as yet, and I don't know if I will or need to. I'm kind of at a point where I'm unsure. It seemed interesting, but I'd heard some or stumbled upon some things where people were kind of criticizing issues with it. I have two profiles on my stock Pixel, personal and work. Work profile has no access to main and shuts off every day at 4:35. Nice. I forget what it was that I had stumbled upon. I'll see if I can find it real quick. I think this is it here. Wow, yeah, I really love a site where when I click on the link to the thing that I want to read, it just doesn't exist. Very nice, very good. Okay, well, let me try to find a different source. There were some vulnerability issues. I want to note that this was just a note that I made in my head of like, I need to go and research this further. So I wasn't saying that I'm like, that F-Droid is bad. I'm just saying that I saw something that made me go, maybe I won't immediately install that. Maybe I will, do some additional research first. There's an article on PrivSec about F-Droid security issues. Excuse me. Unlike other repositories, F-Droid signs all the apps in the main repository with its own signing keys, unique per app, and at the exception of the very few reproducible builds. Upon the installation of an app, Android pins the signature across the entire OS, including user profiles. Trust on first use model. Normally, developers are supposed to sign their own app. The issue with F-Droid is that all apps are signed by the same party, which is also not the developer. You're now adding another party you'll have to trust, since you still have to trust the developer anyway, which isn't ideal. Fewer parties the better. Users should not think of the F-Droid main repository as free of malicious apps, yet unfortunately many are inclined to believe this. But can't I just trust F-Droid and be done with it? You don't have to take my word for it. They openly admit themselves it's a very basic process, relying on badness enumeration. Parentheses, this doesn't work, by the way. Which consists in a few scripts scanning the code for proprietary blobs and known trackers. You are therefore not exempted from trusting upstream developers, and it goes for any repository. So, I don't know. The impression I'm getting is that it's like people have misgivings about approach stuff. F-Droid's answer... Oh, wait. How can you be sure that the app repository can be held to account for the code it delivers? F-Droid's answer, interesting yet largely unused, is build reproducibility. While deterministic builds are a neat idea in theory, it requires the developer to make their toolchain match with what F-Droid provides. It's additional work on both ends, sometimes resulting in apps severely lagging behind in updates, so reproducible builds are not as common as we would have wanted. It should be noted that reproducible builds in the main repository can be exclusively developer signed. Oh, that was all just the first point. The second point is titled F-Droid's Ridiculous Inclusion Policy and Its Consequences. Okay. Someone's spicy. A little spicy. F-Droid, to carry out its passion for free and open source software on the Android platform, requires that developers adhere to a strict inclusion policy for their apps to be hosted on the main repository. According to this policy, F-Droid requires the source code of an app to exclude any proprietary library or ad service. This stringent mandate has proven to be harmful to developers and even end users. Okay, but I mean, it is FOSS, though. I mean, that seems like it's kind of like that's what it says on the tin, no? As a result of F-Droid's inclusion policy, usually some developers have to maintain a slightly different version of their codebase for their app to comply with F-Droid's requirements. For developers, this means not only spending more time and energy, but also in some cases working with libraries and components that may be outdated. I don't know. These concerns feel like maybe they're not that important in a world of multiple stores. I mean, F-Droid's not the only store. In December 2022, the Snicket Project published a blog post. I don't know what the fuck Snicket is. Let me see what that is real quick. Snicket. Chat that is simple, secure, and private. Another? There's so many. Snicket. I like the name. I just like saying the Snicket. I turn to chat and Beer is admonishing me for saying it while I'm in the midst of going, I like saying this. So what happened? Let's see. Addressed users who downloaded from F-Droid, sought to allay any panic from users if they receive a warning from F-Droid telling them that this app Snicket has a vulnerability and that they recommend uninstalling immediately. So that's a label that F-Droid slapped on it. They clarified that this warning from F-Droid wasn't entirely accurate, as the problem wasn't with the Snicket app itself, but specifically F-Droid's own build of the app that was using an outdated version of the WebRTC library. That is a weird arrangement. It kind of sounds like a Rube Goldberg machine. Slow and irregular updates, low target API level, SDK for client and apps, general lack of good practices. This is a manifesto. Goddamn. The F-Droid client allows multiple repositories to coexist within the same app. Many of the issues highlighted above are focused on the main official repository. Having other repositories in a single app also violates the security model of Android, which was not designed for this at all. The OS expects you to trust an app repository as a single source of apps. Yet, F-Droid isn't that by design, as it mixes several repositories in one app. It's important because the OS management APIs and features, such as User Manager, which can be used to prevent a user from installing third-party apps, are not meant for this, and see F-Droid as a single source, so you're trusting the app client to not mess up far more than you should, especially when the privileged extension comes into the picture. There is indeed a serious security issue with the OS first-party source feature being misused, as the privileged extension makes use of the install packages API in an insecure manner, i.e. not implementing it with the appropriate security checks. The privileged extension accepts any request from F-Droid, which again suffers from various bugs and security issues and allows user-defined repositories. This is a lot. It all seems a little pedantic. This is also dated 2022. I don't know if it's been updated since then. This article aims to be purely technical. It is not an attack on F-Droid or their mission. It is meant as an informative piece for end users and a springboard for improvement of the F-Droid project. In spite of this, the release of this article has unfortunately triggered a mostly negative response from the F-Droid team and some of their community, who seem to take a dismissive stance towards this article rather than bringing relevant counterpoints. God, the internet is really a special place. It's nonsense. I don't really know what site this is. I've seen it a couple times now because I've been researching, privacy stuff, and it seems to be used as a sort of repository for certain articles and things, like deeper dives into certain privacy stuff, which is, obviously relevant to my interests. But, who knows who this is? Privsec.dev is made by a group of enthusiastic individuals looking to provide practical privacy and security advice for the end user. We are security researchers, developers, system administrators, generally people with technical knowledge and work in the field. We focus on in-depth system configuration, security analysis, and software/hardware recommendations. Our site is based on technical merits, not ideologies and politics. Nobody wants to ever fucking... It's a world of cowards. Also, to avoid any confusion, we are not affiliated, associated, or in any way associated or connected to the Privsec Global Conference. Ponit. Contour Ponit. I am. My Motorola updated so the lock screen started showing stories on the lock screen. My stupid phone shows me as now. Took a few days to figure out how to turn it off. I'll say I'm not going to miss that kind of crap. Everywhere. Now that I think about it. iPhone didn't do that. I will give them credit. They didn't really fuck with stuff in that particular way. And I haven't been on Android in a good long while, so I guess because I'm going straight to graphene, I'm dodging all that mess. But Windows fucking lock screen and Microsoft's insistence on fucking shoving shit into it, and you turn it off and they do that classic thing where they just turn shit back on. Fucking hate Windows, man. I'm so fucking glad to be free of it. Fuck. Huh. Yeesh. Apparently, by the way, there's a privacy focused carrier, which I only know of because there was an app for it in the a Crescent store. They're called Cape. I have no idea if they're shit. Their site is loading slow as fuck. Woof. Protect yourself with private cell service. Yeah, but what does that mean, though? That's always where all this stuff falls down. Is that at the end of the day, you're usually stuck having to have some sort of... You know, I've got my phone on my current carrier, and my current carrier probably sucks ass. So, you know, I mean, I'm sure that the stuff that I've been doing is improving my privacy generally. I just don't know what a carrier has access to, what they collect about you, and how they do it. Features, minimal data collection. Their website is cape.co. cape.co. Minimal data collection, identifier rotation, secondary numbers, disappearing call logs, SIM swap protection, network lock, encrypted voicemail, private payment, last mile encrypted texting, secure global roaming. What phones do they? Oh, they offer contract buyout. And they provide phones. All phones purchased through Cape come with $500 off your first 6 months of service. Not sponsored, by the way. Right, yeah. SMS is completely insecure. There's an app in the Crescent store called Molly, which apparently is a an implementation of fucking Signal. Let me see here. Molly, there it is. Molly is a security-focused, enhanced version of Signal for Android users. Apparently, they're the site I fell onto just yesterday when I searched for... If you search for that URL, I mean, it makes sense you would end up on their site. I'm just kidding. Oh. For just $50, we'll pre-install Graphene OS on your device so you don't have to deal with bootloaders, flashing, or any of the technical setup. Well, how about that? You know, the Pixel 9a is not bad. It's $500.
No, the 9A is shit.
Oh, the 9a is shit?
It's made out of plastic.
It's made out of plastic.
It doesn't do the wireless charging.
It doesn't do wireless charging.
There's a lot of complaints about it.
But it's only $500.
You can get it cheaper than that.
You can get it cheaper than that even?
Yeah, I think at Best Buy it was like $3.99. Because I looked into that a lot, but it's a lot less powerful than ours.
Right.
It's a major downgrade in hardware.
Gotcha. Yeah, the 9XL Pros are what we just got. You don't want wireless charging. Is there something I need to know about wireless charging, Deb? Heats up the battery, leading to more wear. It's fine. Gotcha. Gotcha. God, I feel like for it not being intentionally targeted at me, I have been seeing Proton everywhere. I suppose that's because of my security focused research of late. But my God, Proton.
Also, we got the 9 Pro XL on sale. So
we got a little deal.
yeah, because it was only $6.99.
Right.
But that was only from one seller at Best Buy.
Gotcha.
So, but it does seem like they're not making them anymore. So, like, if you were gonna buy one new, like, you should get on that.
This is a carrier.
Oh.
So I have no idea. Like, I wonder about it because it's like I don't want a terrible experience, right? I don't know if it's going to be like a downgrade or something.
Well, if they do month to month, we can actually put them on the phones that we have now and switch back and forth.
Whoa. Kate provides subscribers with 2 free additional encrypted lines.
Oh.
Within your Cape app. This is how I discovered it, by the way. It was just that it was here in one of the stores. I was like, what? I just went through each app in a crescent, basically, and I was like, what's this? What's this? What's this? Somewhere here. Yeah, here. Cape, the privacy-first mobile carrier, only available in the U.S. So I started looking at it because I knew that had come up.
Yeah, we still have eSIMs that we could choose to use while still using our other SIMs.
Yeah, we could test this out. Like, this is pretty fucking sick because I do hate using my number for
that would be
shit.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that's what this is for, and they're encrypted. It's pretty sick.
Because that's really what I hate with a whole bunch of like the job stuff, like looking for a job. Like, I don't want to give Indeed my phone number.
Yeah.
I don't want them to sign me up for 8,000 things.
I've been thinking about that too, Ifa. I've had exactly the same thought. This is sick too. Identifier rotation. So this is something Graphene already does out of the box. It's pretty crazy. Like, every time that your phone connects to Wi-Fi, the identity has been rotated. So like your the thing that like is trying to identify your phone thinks it's a new phone every single time. So if you're in a place where there's like other hotspots or other foreign, sort of signals.
If you're in a hotel or something like that.
Yeah, so they can't track your phone because it's just always coming up as a new phone. And then combined with this, where they do identifier rotation on the SIM, that seems like insane. Like, I don't know how important that is, but I guess it would be with regards to, it's like kind of the same thing, but for the actual carrier networks, which is wild. SMS are not end-to-end encrypted. Even so, many of us still use it to receive one-time passwords, blah, blah, blah. CAPE allows subscribers to encrypt and route all SMS, MMS messages through the CAPE app. When enabled, messages sent to CAPE subscribers will be middle to end encrypted and decrypted securely within the CAPE app. This protects any messages that may be intercepted via a compromised cellular base station from being read, which is a genuine concern because those Gestapo guys have been doing exactly this kind of attack where they try to get your phone to connect to a fake tower, which they can do simply by, if they just do a high power, out of date signal like a 2G, it can overwhelm your phone. Your phone will think that it's the tower to be connecting to because it's the most powerful signal around, but it's only powerful because it's local. And that's how they're getting people like protests and stuff like that, is they manage to they trick people's phones into connecting and then just feeding them data. You can disable 2G altogether? Oh man. This is cool. Oh no. Wow, that sucks. I mean, this is an important bullet point. So on last mile encryption, the last bullet point says this feature is only available on iPhone. Android coming soon.
Did I tell you I ordered more containers?
More containers?
Yeah.
Oh, more bentos?
Yeah.
No, you didn't tell me that.
I got the just one little area, one for our doomsday prepping. By that, I mean I bought 4 giant packages of meat from Kroger, and it was an order pickup, and they all expire today and tomorrow. So they all need frozen. So I've already used like all of the containers that we have.
That's the downside. That's the downside of doing pickup.
Grocery pickup, yeah. You can't really pick things. But most of the time isn't a problem. But yeah, this time I got fucked a little bit. Also, I bought cookies and I need to go find them now.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Whoa. SIM swap protection. During sign up, you'll receive a 24-word phrase that generates a private key tied to your number. This phrase is the only way to move your number to a new device or carrier. Insane. That's very cool. Huh. Oh yeah. Hey, here's the network thing I was talking about. Network lock. Attackers exploit SS7 protocols and legacy telco infrastructure to trick your phone into routing your location, calls, or texts to a compromised network that they control. This gives them the ability to track you or intercept your communications. CAPE is redesigning cellular infrastructure from the ground up. Our enhanced signaling protection uses a proprietary proxy to verify that your device's physical location matches the network it's trying to attach to. If anything looks suspicious, like a mismatched location, we block the connection. That one didn't feel as convincing. They have a post about it, though. There's a way attackers can track your location, intercept your messages, and compromise your privacy, all without needing to access your phone and entirely without your knowledge. They don't need to send you suspicious texts, rely on you to click a phishing link, or install any malware. If you use a cell phone, you're inherently vulnerable, even if you follow every best practice, using encrypted messaging apps, avoiding public Wi-Fi, enabling two-factor authentication. Your device still relies on telecom networks that weren't built with security in mind, which is wild, by the way. I would assume so. That's one of my skepticisms about networks like these, right? Is that they're underneath the owners. No? They're not their own network. They're leasing. The problem isn't you. At the heart of the issue is the infrastructure itself. Mobile networks weren't built with security in mind, but rather for interoperability and seamless global connectivity. When telecom infrastructure was first developed, security was an afterthought. Priority was given to ensuring that calls, messages, and data could travel across different networks worldwide. The foundational design choice led to the widespread adoption of SS7 signaling system number 7 and diameter, two core protocols that allow carriers to exchange information about subscribers, authenticate devices, and route communications across international networks. What main carrier is Core on? Okay, well, this has directed me back to them. It seems like it's their explainer. Let's see what they say. Inside Cape's mobile core. Who owns each layer? Carriers like AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile are MNOs. They own and operate the entire mobile stack. They lease the spectrum, yep. Build the towers, yep. Run the core network, yep. Issue and manage the SIM cards, yep. This sounds so dystopian when you just read it. MNOs control everything from the ground up, but their systems are often outdated and difficult to modernize. MNOs also typically collect massive amounts of user data and frequently lose sensitive data in major breaches due to poor security practices. Light Mobile Virtual Network Operators, MVNOs. Carriers like Mint Mobile, Google Fi, and Cricket are light MVNOs. They don't own infrastructure. Instead, they lease access. They use MNOs SIM cards, focus on customer-facing elements. Because they don't control the technical backend, light MVNOs inherit all the same security limitations and tracking liabilities of their hosts. What about Cape? Yes, that's what we want to know, finally. We are a heavy MVNO, meaning we lease physical radio access from MNOs, but we retain control over two of the most critical software components of the mobile service, the core network and the SIM. Unlike traditional MNOs, our core is fully cloud-based and stripped of vulnerable legacy infrastructure. This allows us to implement privacy and security features that other carriers can't. Cape is the only privacy-focused carrier in the United States that runs all traffic through its own fully cloud-based mobile core. Yeah? The core network, the brain of the mobile system. The core is the central command center of a mobile network. When your phone connects to a cell tower, it's really the core network behind the scenes deciding what happens next. By operating our own cloud-based, US-owned core, Cape has full control over. Also, they seem to love to say US-owned, which, when they say that, it makes me cringe. Authentication, policy management, supported technology. We can disable legacy tech like 2G or 3G. Signaling protection, call logs, secure roaming. Most MVNOs use SIMs provisioned by the host MNO, which limits their ability to secure and manage them. CAPE, by contrast, issues and controls our own SIMs. Okay, I mean, it's all like pretty words to me, I guess. Yeah, US owned. The US, known for its exceptional protection of privacy. Can't really find anything about them. Like, I'd love to see a third-party analysis, right? But I'm not seeing much. Yeah, I have no idea. You'd have to. That's starting to get into infosec, Copper, where you need to figure out like who's funding it, who owns it, who's the CEO. Let's find out. Okay, is this the right one? Ah, well, it doesn't help that there's another company called Core Mobile. I guess, is this company called... Oh, they're Cape, not Core. I'm searching for Core. I don't know how that got in my head. November 16th, 2025. How activists and journalists can use private cell phone service that protects against surveillance. Protecting personal data and communication privacy has become critical for activists, journalists, and public figures, and people from vulnerable communities. To help users who may be monitored or threatened, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, together with Cape Mobile, launched Obscura, a mobile service that hides a subscriber's physical location and protects against surveillance techniques such as data interception, base station spoofing, and SIM swapping. Well, in terms of ideology, this seems pleasant. But then again, that also, the honeypot idea comes right back to my mind. Apparently the CEO's name is John Doyle. Search for John Doyle. Well, hopefully this isn't the same person. Oh. I don't think it's... I'm pretty sure it's not the same person. But the very first entry in my search is John Doyle on Wikitubia fandom. John Doyle is a paleo-conservative YouTuber and political commentator who opposes left-wing ideologies and supports Donald Trump. He is known for his videos on topics such as pornography, guns, and social experiments, and has faced controversies with Antifa, Blair White, and Nick Fuentes. That's not our guy. This is a different guy. It looks like there's a lot of dudes named John Doyle. There's a lot of CEOs named John Doyle. For some reason, I have to be more specific. Okay. What's this here? Well, they raised $61 million apparently to build the carrier, according to an article in 2024. There's various articles. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really finding. There's a Reddit post, AMA, of a sort. Not really an AMA. It's their own subreddit. This is posted a month ago. Hi everyone, I'm John Doyle. I wanted to drop into the subreddit to say hello directly and address some of the questions and elephant in the room topics I've seen popping up on Reddit. The founding team and I started CAPE in 2022 because we believe privacy and security are inherently valuable, and that control over your personal information is critical to your individual autonomy and freedom. Prior to CAPE, I led the national security business at Palantir. Whoa! Whoa! Whoops! Uh-oh! Whoa! That experience was actually the catalyst for CAPE. It's where I first learned about the massive array of vulnerabilities that exist in our current cellular networks. I saw how those gaps impacted not just government organizations, but everyday people, and I realized that the mobile phones we carry every day are perhaps the single largest risk to our privacy. Boy, oh boy, I mean, wow, that's rough. That's fucking rough. It is the same Palantir. I mean, there's just the one, Dav. There's just the one. So this is either a great sign or a horrible sign. But I mean, in my opinion, I feel like if you were ever such a dumb, fucking, unethical, amoral idiot as to have ended up working at Palantir, and it took that to make you realize, because there are people who at Palantir like developed, they like grew some morality while they were there and object to what Palantir is doing. But it's like, how did you get there in the first place, you fucking idiot? What the fuck's wrong with you? Read something, anything, read. Is it ultimately $100 a month? That is a lot, yeah. But I mean, oftentimes, Craig, and I will say that this is the discussion that we've had before, right? Of like convenience and friction and cost. Like, there's reasons why the cheaper things are cheap. They're making up the difference by all of the value that you're giving them, just handing to them. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying, and it is definitely rough to have to pay more. Yeah, by selling you. So that doesn't mean, though, that you're not paying $100 to somebody else and they're not doing the same fucking thing, which is exactly what we're kind of digging into now. I'm very interested in this now. I'm going to read the rest of this, because what the fuck? I needed that experience to understand the depth of the problem. But once I left to start Cape, that connection ended. Okay, so this is the elephant in the room. I was so excited when he said elephant in the room, because I was so like, okay, what's up? This is going to be the thing we were looking for, and it's clearly this. Cape has no ties to Palantir. We aren't a subsidiary, we aren't a front, and we don't share data with them. The only thing we took from Palantir was the desire to fix a broken system. If you want to see me and some of the rest of our founding team talk more about this topic, you can watch this video on our Instagram page here. Ugh, Instagram. See, I can't fucking trust tech bros at all. Like, I'm sorry, but I just like, I think they're brain damaged. And even when they seem like maybe they've had a fucking good turn or something, they've turned over a new leaf, you can't fucking trust them, because they all have the same sort of core fucking thing. They've all been like, they've had their brains cooked on this idea that they're going to get fucking rich because they're going to do this startup and it's going to, you know, whatever. And that's the driving fucking force behind almost every single one of those dudes. Even when they themselves believe that they're doing some kind of a good thing, it always is the same outcome, you know, in the end. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Ifa. It'll come in handy. Fucking, I don't know if WaterFox is like ultra sensitive to like dragging tabs out, but I feel like I accidentally dragged fucking tabs out all the goddamn fucking time. This didn't work, Ifa. It says no video with supported format and MIME type found. I don't know if that's because of my browser or I don't know. The first comment on this Instagram, on their post that was linked, he worked for Palantir. Definitely don't trust this company then. Sometimes you get some benefits, Beer, of being able to actually see content without having to sign in. Like X-Cancel, as Dav mentioned. Insta sometimes won't let you fucking see shit without logging in, and I don't always want to fucking log into these fucking things. Even if I did, though, I do have Instagram sandboxed and whatever. But anyway, back to this fucking post. My mind is still reeling. It's reeling. Another related theory I've seen online is that Cape is a honey. Copper. You fucking called it. It was Copper, right? I think you first said that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this feels like a joke. Now, to be fair, he's just like explaining the things that people cooked up, like just basically like what we were doing here in chat, right? We don't have necessarily any, it's not like we have evidence that these are the case. But let us continue. Another related theory I've seen online is that Cape is a honeypot for law enforcement. Cape is not a honeypot. It's so hard to prove a negative, but at least I can say it clearly and out loud. Cape is not a honeypot. Okay. That is rough. That is rough. We are a group of individuals who deeply value privacy. That mission carries across everything we do, from our work with the U.S. government and allies. Okay, well, that doesn't inspire confidence, buddy. This was posted 1 month ago. What was happening 1 month ago? What was happening 1 fucking month ago? Oh. I believe the U.S. government was shooting people in the street, right? I think they were. I think that's what was happening a month ago. From our work with the U.S. government and allies to everyday people and everything in between. And then some bullet points. We are incredibly proud to work with people who protect our country by ensuring they have secure, trusted communications wherever they are. Dude! Ah! What is this fucking article? I don't understand people who are not agents of the government who prop up this fucking myth that the United States needs this in this particular way. Like, that we're all like, oh yes, our heroes protecting us from stuff. What fucking anything? What fucking stuff? What's happening out there that's so fucking important that we have to have a fucking military super police state? U.S. Navy trying experimental tech to help secure Guam. Mobile carrier Cape hired for pilot project to shield network. Hackers tied to Chinese government accused of targeting Guam. I feel like their target audience would feel the same way I do about this stuff. Like, this isn't a brag. This feels like shit. I don't know, man. We also work with the EFF to provide investigative journalists and activists with free Cape service so they can do their work safely. I mean, that sounds good. We partner with nonprofits to support victims of domestic abuse who are facing cyber stalking and digital harassment. That also sounds good. Reread the bit where he says, oh, Dave, we've been on a ride. I don't know if you have any context here at all, but the short version is I stumbled upon a privacy-focused mobile carrier. We started kind of digging in. Sounded like they had nice features, but we were skeptical, so I started doing some research. I landed on a Reddit post by the founder of the company. It's Cape Mobile, by the way. And I'm going to start from the beginning, Dave, and you don't have to get very far. It's the third paragraph. Hi, everyone. I'm John Doyle. I wanted to drop into the subreddit, say hello directly, and address some of the questions and, quote, elephant in the room, unquote, topics I've seen popping up on Reddit. The founding team and I started Cape in 2022 because we believe privacy and security are inherently valuable, and that control over your personal information is critical to your individual autonomy and freedom. Prior to Cape, I led the national security business at Palantir. All three plus. It's fucking CIA, FBI, NSA plus. The Mencius Mold Bug Special. And then, he's obviously tries to kind of sweep the Palantir dust under the rug. And then I came to this bit where he leads into some, he says CAPE is not a honeypot, and he repeats it 3 times, that CAPE is not a honeypot for law enforcement, but he can't prove it, so he just repeats it. And then this was a gem, okay? He's still trying to convince people that this is the privacy first mobile for people like you and I and everybody. We are a group of individuals who deeply value privacy. That mission carries across everything we do, from our work with the US government and allies to everyday people and everything in between. And then he offers 3 bullet points after that. And the first one is, we are incredibly proud to work with people who protect our country by ensuring they have secure, trusted communications wherever they are. Link to an article of like helping the Navy fight China, Chinese hackers. I don't know. I don't understand, man. I don't get it. I'm going to finish reading this. Privacy affects everyone, and our mission is to protect all of them. We are a young company growing exponentially, and we don't plan on slowing down. Oh. Okay, LinkedIn. We know we have to earn your trust every day. The truth is, no one else is building a high-quality, first-class solution to these specific cellular problems. We are committed to being the ones who do it right. I will try to stay up to date on this subreddit, or at least this thread, and answer questions. If you care about mobile security and freedom, give us a try. Leave some constructive feedback and ask me any questions. Stay safe. John Doyle, founder and CEO, CAPE. I know, right? I mean, I think it's kind of a lose. It's one of those things where like the dude should have realized, I guess I just can't make this company, because you can't hide that. But also you can't be transparent about it either. Like, there's nothing you can do. You fucked up by being at Palantir ever in your life. There's no coming back. You don't get to then follow that up with claiming that you've made this privacy first mobile carrier. You're out of your mind. You're out of your fucking mind. I wonder if this is moderated by them. Oh my god, it is. I was looking at the comments and I'm like, man, this is a lot of glazing. Oh, moderators. John Doyle Cape. Cape Cellular. And then some fucker named Brian Stoner. And that's it. Come on, man. You can't do that. You can't do that. Uh Brian Stoner looks like they're also an employee based off of what I'm seeing here. Yeah, it's an employee. So it's an employee ran subreddit entirely. Hi, John. I am interested in Cape, but worried it is a honeypot that could potentially be weaponized against users. Here is a scenario that would make it clear to me what level of privacy/protection you would provide the customer. As a Palestinian journalist being tracked and targeted by Israel, would you provide them my information if they asked? Would you give them the communication history I have? Or would you give them access to my ongoing communication? This dude fucking rocks. Hi. Thanks for the question. This is John, ostensibly. Hi, thanks for the question. I welcome every opportunity to say that Cape is not a honeypot. We love supporting journalists and enabling them to do their jobs. Via our partnership with Electronic Frontiers Foundation, we sponsor obscure devices for vetted investigative journalists. What I hate about this is it's making me feel worse about Electronic Frontiers Foundation as opposed to better about Cape. Which is unfortunate because I generally think Electronic Frontiers Foundation is good. We work to make our privacy policy as clear as possible and we stand by it. No one, including governments, who simply asks for your information will get a response, even if they offer us money like marketing firms do. Dude, that's not the... They fucking will subpoena you or they'll... Like, it's not like they're gonna... They're not like... We are required to respond to warrants and other legal process requests from law enforcement, but we pledge to challenge every such request that is not specific, narrowly tailored, and properly justified as required by law. Sorry, buddy, that's just not... I don't know what to tell you, but that's... I don't believe you. In short, we do everything we can to protect your personal information. I appreciate your question, and thanks for giving me a chance to respond in public. I don't know, man. Not to mention the fact that laws are fake. Laws are fucking fake, man. The law is whoever's in charge. And whoever's in charge right now, I think we know, is a big fan of administrative warrants and whatever other bullshit that they can do to just walk around. I mean, they don't even really, they're not waiting for permission. They're just doing shit and asking, they're not even asking for forgiveness, but they're just doing. So I don't know that I believe you. There isn't really anything else like this, is there? I'm irritated at how excited I was about it now that I've read this shit. And I also hate how it's just a matter of, like, perception, right? Like, all of this is, I mean, it's just given me massive distrust. And that's really, I can't really go back now. And that's it. There's no other useful comments. It's all, for the most part, I have to say it's mostly glazing, and that's probably a symptom of the fact that the three moderators are Cape. It's just Cape. This is their little sandbox. I'm gonna check their top post to see. Well, the top post ever is the fucking I'm John Doyle post at 18 upvotes. 18 updates on that one. So I'm a guess that the controversial stuff must have got either deleted or buried, right? Because what he made this post to address the theories and stuff. Like, where are they, buddy? It seems suspiciously devoid of any theories. I'm not really seeing anything. Yeah, Beer. I mean, that's a lot of the driving sort of thought behind the stuff that I've been migrating towards is like with everything now, one of my first thoughts, everything that I use, I'm like, can I self-host this? And in that sense, I mean, I'm not, it's not like I'm building those apps that I'm using either, but I feel like I trust them a lot more when they're open source, auditable by others, you know, contained within my own, like they're not exposed to the outside world. They're only on my network, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like pretty confident, but yeah, I can't 100% trust anything. And I'm relying on a sort of network of trust. Yeah. That's everything. And what I keep running into with this stuff, right, is that there's always these like sort of checkpoints. Like with cellular phones, cellular is kind of the the final checkpoint, right? Like, what do you do about that part? And the answer is clearly not much. Not much. I can't believe that this guy was Palantir. I can't believe it. I'm so fucking blown away. Of all the things, you know. It could have been something vague that was seemed like kind of sinister, but no. It was the most sinister thing. It was the most sinister possible. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm gonna try searching for him in just Palantir now and just learn about that. There's got to be other people talking about this in other places, right? He is pretty open about it. He wrote about it in the blog on their website. I'm sure that he recognizes the issue. At Palantir, where I started in technical roles more than 10 years ago, I learned about a wide array of vulnerabilities in the cellular network. But I mean, like, this is kind of what I meant when I said it. It's almost like, in some sense, you could imagine it's almost a good thing, because, like, maybe he was there and he saw what they were doing there. Because the whole thing, oh yeah, I got to look up Brian Stoner too. Yeah, good point. I mean, he keeps saying we, and so it sounds like he took people, he headhunted people from Palantir and took them with him. Like, I bet Brian Stoner here is probably also a Palantir. Well, searching up Brian Stoner and Palantir hasn't brought anything. Ah, wait. Hold on a moment. Oh no. This is one of those websites that does the press and hold to confirm you're not a robot, and the fucking privacy shit I have on my browser means I can never complete these. I have to shut everything the fuck off to get through. I don't know if I can ever get through this. God, is there a cache? Or proxy? Which of my many privacy things is blocking this? Machine learning is fine, yeah. It's not machine learning that's driving the destruction of our whole entire fucking world. It's entirely the idea that if you just keep making the LLM model bigger and bigger, that it's going to become AGI somehow, which it isn't, because they hit diminishing returns. But they're not going to stop until they've covered every fucking acre of Earth with data centers. And they don't care who gets hurt by that along the way. Dude, I have disabled every fucking goddamn security extension. I am not a robot. Let me through. Let me in. It was DuckDuckGo. Privacy essentials. Okay, I'm through now though, so I can turn everything back on. Christ almighty. I'll tell you one thing, folks. I have firmly committed to abandoning convenience entirely. My life is constant pain. Okay. Now, does this fucking site even have what I'm looking for? Or is it a fucking... Okay, well, I can't find anybody named Brian. Cape Tech Stack. This is probably a scraper site, because it says a closer look at the technologies used by Cape, and one of them is Palantir. I don't think this is accurate. I think this is just one of those fucking shit-ass information scrapers that throws a bunch of bullshit together. This dude is definitely harder to find stuff on. Here's a job posting. Cape was founded in early 2022 by Palantir and Anduril alums. I've never heard of Anduril. With deep expertise in privacy and national security. While running Palantir's U.S. national security business. It's a private company, by the way. Palantir is a private fucking company, by the way. Our CEO became passionate about privacy and security on mobile devices. I wonder why. Oh, I can just imagine them, these fucking ghouls at Palantir who are like, hey, Brian, come over here. Check this out, man. I have all of the photos off of your phone. And then he's just like, I care about privacy now. I hate everything, man. Ha! I have found some more tea. We believe that get ready, folks. This one actually might not hit as hard for some of you, but it should. We believe that where we are, where we go, and whom we are with are among our most personal information and should be kept private. Privacy is not something you achieve by limiting yourself or by doing less. It is a set of features to be built so you can do more. We have raised money from Andreessen Horowitz and other top-tier VCs. And are excited to grow the team. So for those of you who don't maybe realize why that one hits, Andreessen Horowitz is founded by Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, and it's a venture capital firm. And Mark Andreessen in particular is a fucking ghoul. On the order of, you know, the other ghouls, like all the ghouls that are like part of that same little cluster of the world's worst people, the people building the the death machine that you weren't supposed to build. Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, Curtis Yarvin, JD Vance, Elon Musk. So yeah. So they are funded by evil fuckfaces. Let me see if I can find some lowlights for you with regards to Andreessen. The Torment Nexus, yes, that's what I was trying to think of. At the very first link, I didn't have to go far. This was posted 8 hours ago. Headline: If we didn't have AI, we'd be in a panic, says Andreessen Horowitz co-founder, warning depopulation threatens the economy. Shrinking populations may pose a larger economic threat than artificial intelligence-driven job losses, according to venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz co-founder Mark Andreessen. The economy would already be in panic without AI, he said recently on Lenny's podcast. What the fuck is that? He's just a fucking ghoul. He's just another one of the. But he's the benefactor of the like 2000s web industry boom. I can't remember what his fucking shit was. Was it LinkedIn or something? I don't remember the Andreessen history, but he had something that basically gave him infinite money, and then now we are subjected to his stupid fucking brain forever because he's a rich person, and we'll never escape that fucking gravity well. The only reason we're not worried about that is because we now know that we have the technology that can substitute for the lack of population growth, Andreessen said. Let's see. Here you go. Here you go. Headline: Top AI investor says his companies are filled with, quote, America-hating communists, end quote, destroying them from the inside. Hell yes, this rocks. Fuck yeah. Get 'em. If you've felt a vibe shift, you're not alone. There's a massive revolution afoot led by America-hating communists. At least that's according to Mark Andreessen, the co-founder of powerful venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz, which has made immense sums of money by investing in tech companies ranging from Facebook to Airbnb and is now a key player in the nascent AI industry. Lately, though, Andreessen has been troubled. Elite institutions, he says, have been churning out radicalized graduates who are destroying his companies from the inside. Quote, I believe it's the children of the elites, end quote, he told New York Times dickhead Rouse Dothat this week. Quote, the most privileged people in society, the most successful, send their kids to the most politically radical institutions, which teach them how to be America-hating communists, end quote. Quote, there was a point where the median, newly arrived Harvard kid in 2006 was a career-obsessed striver, he seethed. But by 2013, the median, newly arrived Harvard kid was like, expletive it. We're burning the system down. You are all evil. White people are evil. All men are evil. Capitalism is evil. Tech is evil. Yeah, based. Pretty soon, Andreessen says these little monsters ended up at his various companies, where they started sowing havoc. They're professional activists in their own minds, first and foremost, Andreessen fumed. And it just turns out the way to exercise professional activism right now, most effectively, is to go and destroy a company from the inside. Man, if you motherfuckers didn't build a nightmare world, maybe everybody wouldn't feel this fucking way, you fucking moron, you egg-headed piece of shit. You made this. You made this fucking world. Does any of this particularly hold up to scrutiny? Not really. This is the article writer now. In reality, Americans' ideological beliefs have remained relatively stable over the past 3 decades, and the tech industry has remained staggeringly profitable. There's also a tension that's hard to reconcile. Leave it to the New York Times to be like, actually, the center is doing great. The center is really holding together. We love the center. There's also a tension that's hard to reconcile. If Andreessen and his deputies are so brilliant at founding and managing startups, why are they constantly hiring saboteurs instead of qualified candidates? A journey, Bellaman. A long, winding journey. I just was looking at a possible new cellular carrier and ended up at Palantir and then Mark Andreessen. That's the ultra short version, the perhaps too short version. But what does emerge is an unintentionally revealing self-portrait of one of the most influential men in the AI industry. Andreessen feels besieged, paranoid that a deep state of his own employees is tearing down his companies from within. One reasonable interpretation, whether he's right or wrong about that hypothesis, it's spurring him to throw money at startups, aiming to automate the work of the regular employees he feels so betrayed by. How are those AI investments going? As Andreessen continued to unload on Dowhat, a new target emerged. Did the writer just refer to himself in the third person? The Biden administration, which the venture capitalist rage has been trying to kneecap the AI sector before it can get off the ground. This, by the way, article came out on January 18th, 2025. Senior Biden staffers, Andreessen said, told him in meetings that we are going to make sure that AI is going to be a function of 2 or 3 large companies. We will directly navigate and control those companies. There will be no startups. And that's the day we walked out and stood in the parking lot of the West Wing, he continued, and took one look at each other, and we're like, yep, we're for Trump. Yeah, it sounds absolutely real. This is a real thing that definitely happened. Again, it's difficult to square Andreessen's storytelling with reality. There are plenty of AI startups, many of which he's invested in. From ChatGPT, man, oh, New York Times, I fucking, why do they have to be this sort of like, just so pathetic, just really fucking pathetic? Like, why can't they be like, it turns out though that Andreessen is a motherfucking liar. Like, come on. Hit these fucks. This is another contributing factor to why we got here. Because nobody would like hit these guys back. They just say whatever the fuck. And then, you know, fucking New York Times or whatever is just like, well, we're not so sure that that's totally true. We looked into it and it's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that. What are you fucking doing? Just call him a fucking liar. That sucks, Copper. I mean, it's humorous that they keep pointing out that, like, actually, this sounds kind of fanciful, but, like, I wish that they would have done it with some strength. There are plenty of AI startups, many of which he's invested in, from ChatGPT maker OpenAI, to military contractor Anduril. Okay, so now looping back to that fucking job posting I found. Remember at the beginning of it when I said, I don't know what that is. CAPE was founded in early 2022 by Palantir and Anduril alums. So that's what Anduril is. It's a fucking military contractor. If the White House has been trying to kill the sector, it's been doing a remarkably incompetent job because the AI industry has been growing explosively throughout Biden's term. And as a point of fact, Biden's attempts at AI regulation have been mild and vague. Moreover, when AI startups have run into trouble, it's very often come in the form of self-inflicted wounds as they deploy technology they don't understand and have difficulty controlling. Look no further than Character.ai, a chatbot company started by Google defectors, into which Andreessen Horowitz has poured $150 million. The company rapidly gathered a large user base among teenagers and younger kids until it turned out the company's bots had been keeping underage users engaged by plying them with inappropriate role play about sexual scenarios, suicide and self-harm, eating disorders, school shootings, and more. The company is now the subject of 2 lawsuits, one holding it accountable for the suicide of a 14-year-old who developed an intimate relationship with one of the company's bots. Is any of that the fault of overzealous government regulators? Obviously not, but at this point, it doesn't even matter. When Donald Trump is sworn in, the Andreessens of the world won't have Biden to blame anymore. And the AI industry will either have to find a working revenue model or develop a new excuse for why it's failing. Quote, the metaphor that I use here is we're the dog that caught the bus, Andreessen conceded to Doubthat. And we got the tailpipe firmly between our jaws, and the bus is dragging us down the street. Okay, I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean, you fucking nincompoop. You horrible nightmare ghoul man. So there you go. That's sort of a perfect little... It encapsulates what you need to know with regards to Marc Andreessen and why I had such a reaction when I read Andreessen Horowitz funded CAPE. I'm pretty sure, at least for me, CAPE is firmly and permanently off the table. It's a fucking Andreessen operation. He paid entirely for it and installed his people in it. So, fuck that. I don't think that there's going to be any such revelations with regards to graphene. But who knows? Maybe I've made a grave mistake. I know that there was a controversy a while back because I think there was a leader of the project who was kind of socially deficient. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they removed themselves from the project, as well as 1 or 2 other people or something, and it's under different leadership. So here's an interestingly titled video. The de-Googled phone myth, why it makes you stand out. Okay. Should I believe you, AI-generated man face? Channel name security researcher with AI-generated profile picture and 2.4 thousand views. without watching the video, the pinned comment here on this says, de-Googled phones don't hide you. They make you stand out, especially when certain groups, think Antifa, gets flagged as high interest or a domestic threat by various organizations within the system. It doesn't matter if you have nothing to do with those groups. It doesn't matter if your views aren't remotely aligned. If your device behavior matches the same patterns, like running a custom OS, you will get pooled with them in the data. Not because you're a threat, not because you did anything wrong, but because your phone looks statistically similar. That's the part most people aren't thinking about, and it can create real-world problems for people who never asked to be part of any of it. If you want the fully cited deep dive on the mechanics behind all of this, watch 10 documented ways your phone spies on you. First comment after that, somebody saying in all caps, I was never fooled, ... by the idea, comma, just replacing the operating system affords you privacy, ... Certainly not from government agencies. Additionally, comma, I was never fooled about encryption either. Encryption is defeated when the device it is used on is compromised itself in one way or another. And then the reply from the channel, you've nailed it, especially regarding device compromise and encryption. That's some nonsense. There is not a red border on the thumbnail, no. Although there is a red rectangle inside the thumbnail. It's supposed to be like your phone, but big and red and glowing because you're standing out. I mean, in some sense, I can kind of understand that logic. I just don't know how true that is. Because also, there's a lot of other things about it that are... Like, it's hard to stand out when you're hard to pin down. This feels like just fear-mongering to me. It's also a pointless... It's just a stupid, small AI-generated channel. Aha! I found a discussion. Okay, so this is this is tipping back over to Cape again. But this is a post on Graphene OS. Unfortunately, so it's from 4 months ago, but the account and post were deleted. So I don't know what they said. The post excerpt was grabbed by the search engine. Some of it anyway. CEO used to be at Palantir. Be mindful of these organizations' class interests. There is really nothing holding them back from giving you up. Agreed. What's this? Oh, weird. So apparently there was some sort of misinformation campaign. Pixel smartphones delivered with secret but inactive remote maintenance. Someone says this is largely the same stuff Wired pushed. Apparently Wired got bamboozled into... this is posted by Graphene on Mastodon. Wired was manipulated into spreading misinformation to market Palantir and iVerify by misrepresenting a vulnerability in a disabled demo app as being a serious problem, which could be exploited in the real world. They should retract the article, but won't. And then they link the article. This was from August 15th, 2024. Nearly all Google Pixel phones, this is the Wired headline, exposed by unpatched flaw in hidden Android app. A fix is coming, but data analytics giant Palantir says it's ditching Android devices altogether. Who the fuck cares what Palantir says? Because Google's response to the vulnerability has been troubling. Is there an article here? Oh, I gotta archive it. Fortunately, I have those on tap. Google's flagship Pixel smartphone line touts security as a centerpiece feature, offering guaranteed software updates for 7 years running. So I thought this was going to be about graphene, but it's not even. It doesn't look like it's even about that. The issue relates to a software package called showcase.apk that runs at the system level and lurks invisible to users. The application was developed by enterprise software company Smith Micro for Verizon as a mechanism for putting phones into a retail store demo mode. It is not Google software, yet for years it has been in each Android release for Pixel and has deep system privileges. Even riskier, blah, 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 blah. He added that Google has not seen evidence of active exploitation and that the app is not present in the new Pixel 9 series devices that Google announced this week. Weird. And so apparently this was somebody at Wired getting manipulated into posting this, at least according to Graphene. Okay, so Graphene said Wired was manipulated in spreading misinformation to market Palantir and iVerify by misrepresenting a vulnerability in a disabled demo app. How are they marketing iVerify? Okay, so one of the people that Wired talked to was iVerify Vice President of Research, blah, blah, blah. So that's that context. iVerify are scammers, and anyone paying the money should rapidly stop doing it and remove their malware from their devices. Now, I will say that this is from 2024 and maybe from when Graphene still had an unhinged person who was socially facing. This does seem to kind of be just a huge, long diatribe. Many posts. Lots of posts. I don't think this was anything of what we were looking for, but it was interesting. I don't know. Does anybody know of anything else that would give reason to have any concerns about graphene? I mean, I did research before this, and I came across that shit that, you know, with the unhinged project leader. But not really finding much else. Nice try, Dav. Nice try. I found a post here on Privacy Guide subreddit. Is Graphene OS really all that? This is from 2 years ago. First off, I currently use Graphene. I've just heard some controversy surrounding it. Here we go. Specifically, the lead developer, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it just keeps coming back to this, which I understand people were concerned because, like, it's the person running the project. If they're getting into, like, big public fights, that's not good. Most people responding to this are like, you're just like pot stirring, and this doesn't really have anything to do with whether or not graphene itself is good. And actually just being pretty chill. Yeah, and then this person publicly stepped down. Yeah, all of this seems like a sideshow, really. I don't know. People, I hate reading people litigating, like, why someone did something and blah, 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 blah. But a lot of this, as far as things generally go, is like ancient history now. Lots of people are, I don't know, there's just lots of different people out there. Like, I like a lot of the things that Louis Rossmann stands for and has done and said and stuff, but I also think that he's kind of a dickhead and has done a lot of dickhead stuff and said a lot of dickhead things. So, you know, it's whatever. I don't think it really matters. I can't find anything else, though. Everything keeps circling back to this. I don't really care about this drama shit. Yeah, go off the grid, basically. I just never wanted to be that person per se. Like, I want to try to exist as best as I can within a world of connections to people. Sometimes he was pretty weird about the COVID stuff and mask wearing and stuff. That really stuck in my mind. And I don't know. Again, I'm also not trying to like vilify the guy either. I'm just saying, pluses and minuses, pros and cons. People contain multitudes. I'm also a little bit inherently distrustful of people who seem like overconfident and or egotistical. What was the old the original internet disaster? Was it Forever September? Eternal September, or the September that never ended, was a cultural phenomenon during a period beginning around late 1993 and early 1994 when internet service providers began offering Usenet access to many new users. Before this, the only sudden changes in the volume of new users of Usenet occurred each September when cohorts of university students would gain access to it for the first time, in sync with the academic calendar. That's ancient old lore. Oh god, I clicked on a tab and the tab was the fucking AI monster from last night. I just got jump scared. Yeah, the apartment list. I clicked the tab too far. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that it's stay away from Cape. Stay away from Cape. It's got, I mean, the most evil people in the country have their fingers in it, guaranteed. That was wild. That's what a little bit of research will get you. It's interesting, isn't it? One of the comments there has a photo with another demon in it. I'm checking now. Rabbit hole conquered, yeah. I mean, it makes me sad. I was pretty excited when I first saw the features that Cape was touting, but now I'm quite sad about that because there really isn't anything like that. We are beholden to the big owners when it comes to cell carriers. Is there a username for me to search for? Because it's not the top comment. One thing I do like Reddit for is it still will make me occasionally have at least a small laugh. Someone said, fucking jump scare. I literally just yelled fuck so loud when I finally noticed it and accidentally drop kicked my phone into the next room. And someone replied to them saying, there's something about your username that has to be addressed. So then you do the classic, go back and actually read what the fuck the username was, which is furry_wet_mound_hole. And then someone replied to that person with an image that just says, apologies, my good bitch, but what seems to be the fuck? I have not seen that one before. Thank you for the link. I need to open chat up over here on this side. I sure wish desk flow worked correctly on Wayland. That would be much better than this. That's not the right URL. Not a hard URL yet. There we go. Got it. Ha 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 ha. Ran into that yesterday. Ah! What on earth? What on earth? Okay, this one looks less terrifying. It looks like a very, very ugly sculpture. It's a... Wow, it's really an amalgam of a woman holding a phone for sure. It's like sort of a selfie happening, but just like someone taking a selfie that got splinched. Crazy. Oh yeah, there's a disembodied dog head as well. We live in hell, my friends. This is just evidence of that. That's all it is. Boy. Wow, it's 12:30 already. Jesus Christ. Was having so much fun on that research journey that I just totally lost track of the time. Oh, that's why I've ended up on PrivSec so much. There's a Graphene OS FAQ on there. Oh. Oh, it just links to it. It's not, they're not hosting it. My bad. Holy shit, that is a deep FAQ. What the fuck? Boom. This list of support, someone said earlier, I thought they said that it goes back as far as 8, but it actually goes further. Fold, tablet, 7 series, all the way back to 6 series. Ah, but the recommended list stops at 8, right? Because of the memory thing. Right. Memory tagging. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of nasty stuff going on, and all I'm trying to do is just to separate, you know, just put a wall of separation between me and at least some of it, you know? I don't have delusions of being able to completely disconnect from everything, but I want to mitigate as much as I can within reason. And I feel like the stuff that I have done has been pretty well researched and should be pretty good. I think Graphene OS looks very good, and it's not a bad experience, which is quite nice. You would think that it would be such a terrible experience, but it's pretty good. Ugh, I unlocked my phone and it was on the Cape app. Never ever will I ever install that app. No. I wonder, actually, one more bit of digging here. I'm curious what the hell the EFF has to say about Cape. I mean, they're partnering with them, so I mean, I guess they're fine with it, but it just, I don't know. I mentioned this the other day. It irritates me when you come across people who are really strongly, like, you're really strongly aligned with them in like one sort of narrow slice, but then you discover it's like that they have total blinders on about some other shit. Like, how are you missing this? How do you care about this one thing really strongly and not this other thing? So, and that's kind of how I feel with this, with the EFF here. What the hell is Ray Hunter? September 10th, 2025. Ray Hunter, what we have found so far. Ah, this is what I was talking about earlier, kind of. A little over a year ago, we released Ray Hunter, our open source tool designed to detect cell site simulators. We've been blown away by the level of community engagement on this project. It has been installed on thousands of devices, or so we estimate. We don't actually know, since Ray Hunter doesn't have any telemetry. We've received dozens of packet captures, hundreds of improvements, both minor and major, documentation fixes, and bug reports from our open source community. This project is a testament to the power and impact of an open source and community-driven counter surveillance. So this is referring to what I was talking about, where apparently ICE has been deploying essentially what they've described as cell site simulators, essentially tricking your phone and then using your tricked phone to track you and capture data about you and so on. If this is your first time hearing about Ray Hunter, you can read our announcement blog post, or if you prefer, you can watch our DEF CON talk. In short, Ray Hunter is an open source Linux program that runs on a variety of mobile hotspots, dedicated devices that use cellular connection to give you Wi-Fi. Ray Hunter's job is to look for cell site simulators, a tool police use to locate or identify people's cell phones. also known as IMSI catchers or stingrays. Ray Hunter analyzes the handshakes between your Ray Hunter device and the cell towers it is connected to for behaviors consistent with that of a CSS. I think Ben Johnson has a video about this actually on his channel. I think it's in the video I recommended about technology for anarchists. When it finds potential evidence of a CSS, it alerts the user with an indicator on the screen and potentially push a notification to their phone. Understanding if CSS are being used to spy on protests is one of the main goals of the Ray Hunter project. Thanks to members of our community bringing Ray Hunter to dozens of protests, we are starting to get a picture of how CSS are currently being used in the US. By the way, this shit is illegal. Oh, did I meant Ben, I meant the guy with the YouTube channel. What the fuck is his name? Ben Jordan, yeah. My bad. Did I say Johnson? I meant Jordan. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. So far, Ray Hunter has not turned up any evidence of cell site simulators being used to spy on protests in the US, though we have found them in use elsewhere. I'm pretty sure it's been proved that they are doing that, though. Yeah. In the past, at least. ACLU 2020. Yeah, Stingrays. They did a FOIA request. Blah, blah, blah. ICE upgraded their cell site simulator devices from the Harris Corporation Stingray 2 to a new model called Crossbow. Prior to the release of these records, the existence of the Crossbow model was not publicly known. As of January 2020, ICE was still using crossbows. Although records obtained through FOIA and other litigation in recent years has revealed some information about the costs and capabilities of the Stingray and other models of cell site simulators, we don't know what the crossbow can do, or whether it raises different concerns than other versions of the technology. In September 2017, ICE said it had used cell site simulators 223 times, including 95 times to apprehend people and 104 times to gather evidence relevant to a case against any apprehended individual. Yeah. Good night, Arfie. Have a good one. I'm probably putting people to sleep at this point with my bullshit. Probably about time. The dogs could detect a self-deprecating tone in my voice, usually indicating that we are approaching the end of the stream. You guys are too smart. You're too smart. Oh, yeah. Well, this has been a very interesting night. I hope it was at least a little educational or interesting. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for it. I hope you have a beautiful night, and I will see you next time.